Aaron Taylor, a 15-year-old boy known for his quiet strength and maturity beyond his years, boarded the plane with a mix of excitement and pride. He wore a neatly pressed button-down shirt, casual khakis, and sneakers that still looked brand new. In one hand, he carried a book, and in the other, his boarding pass for a seat in the prestigious Skylux class, a gift from his mother to celebrate his academic achievements. The warm smiles from the cabin crew as Aaron walked down the aisle made him feel special. He found his seat, placed his backpack in the compartment, and settled in, flipping open his book. For a moment, it felt like the perfect beginning to an unforgettable journey. But perfection rarely lasts. Sophia Reed, a senior flight attendant known for her meticulous attention to detail, entered the cabin with an air of authority. Her eyes scanned the passengers, landing on Aaron. Something about the young boy in the upscale section seemed to bother her. She approached him with an almost mechanical smile. "May I see your boarding pass, please?" she asked curtly. Aaron, startled but polite, handed it over. Sophia examined the ticket, her brow furrowing. "This is for Skylux," she said, her tone skeptical. "Yes, ma'am," Aaron replied calmly. "It was booked by my mom." She handed the pass back, but lingered for a moment, her expression unreadable. Aaron tried to refocus on his book, but the interaction left him unsettled. Minutes later, Sophia returned, her voice sharper. "Young man," she said, "it seems there's been an issue with your ticket. You'll need to move to a different section." Aaron blinked in confusion. "My ticket is valid. Is there a problem?" Her response was cold and firm. "This isn't a discussion. Follow me?" As whispers spread among the other passengers, Aaron gathered his belongings and followed her, his posture steady despite the embarrassment. She led him to the rear of the plane, where he was directed to an economy seat. Sitting in the cramped space, Aaron sent a quick message to his mother. "They moved me to economy. They said my seat wasn't valid. Can you check?" Her reply came almost immediately. "Stay put. I'll handle this." Meanwhile, the chief flight attendant, Michael Grant, noticed the commotion in the Skylux cabin and approached Sophia. "What happened to the young man who was sitting here?" he asked. Sophia shifted uncomfortably. "I didn't think he belonged in first class," she said dismissively. Michael's eyes narrowed. "Did his ticket say Skylux?" Sophia hesitated before nodding. "Then why was he moved?" Michael asked, his tone firm. Before Sophia could reply, a call came through from the airline's executive team. The message was clear. They had been contacted about a passenger incident and expected a full report. Sophia's expression faltered as she realized the gravity of the situation. Back in economy, Aaron remained composed, but his mind raced. He thought about what his mother had always told him: stand tall, even when things feel unfair. The flight continued in tense silence, but unbeknownst to Sophia, Aaron's mother had already contacted the airline. When the plane landed, Aaron was greeted by a member of the airline's management team, who apologized profusely for the mistreatment. Behind them, uniformed officials approached Sophia, asking her to explain her actions. Her previously unyielding confidence began to crumble as the consequences of her behavior became clear. Aaron, meanwhile, walked out of the terminal with quiet dignity, speaking softly into his phone. "Thanks, Mom. Everything's okay now." This wasn't just about one seat on a flight. For Aaron, it was a lesson in standing up against unfairness, no matter how small the situation might seem. As Aaron Taylor walked away from the terminal, his heart swelled with mixed emotions: relief, pride, and an underlying sense of justice. What had started as an ordinary flight had turned into an experience that would change him forever. But the story wasn't over yet. Once home, Aaron's mother, Elizabeth, continued to pursue the matter with the airline. She believed her son's integrity had been unfairly questioned, and she wanted to ensure no one else would endure such treatment. She filed a formal complaint, detailing the events and highlighting how Aaron had been wrongly judged based on nothing more than assumptions. The airline's management took the complaint seriously. Within days, Aaron and Elizabeth received an official apology from the airline CEO, who commended Aaron for his calm demeanor and assured them that corrective measures would be taken. They invited Aaron to a meeting to discuss his experience and share his perspective. The meeting turned out to be a pivotal moment. Aaron, nervous but determined, sat across from the airline's top executives. His voice was steady as he recounted the events of that flight. He didn't speak with anger or bitterness, but with a sense of purpose. "I understand mistakes can happen," Aaron said, "but it's important to treat people with respect and fairness, no matter their age, appearance, or background. I wasn't just humiliated, I was made to feel like I didn't belong. That's a feeling no one should have to experience." His words resonated deeply with the executives. They realized that the incident reflected a broader issue in their company's culture, one that required immediate attention. The airline pledged to implement new training programs for their staff, focusing on implicit bias and respectful communication. They also introduced a passenger advocacy team to address concerns more effectively during flights. But Aaron's story didn't stop there. The media caught wind of the incident after another passenger, who had witnessed Aaron's humiliation, shared their account on social media. The post went viral, sparking widespread outrage and support for Aaron. Overnight, Aaron became a symbol of resilience and fairness, his story inspiring others to speak out against injustice in their own lives. While the attention was overwhelming, Aaron chose to use his newfound platform for good. He partnered with organizations that advocated for equity and fairness in various industries, from aviation to education. He began giving talks at schools and community events, sharing his story and encouraging others to stand up for themselves and others. One memorable moment came when Aaron spoke at a youth leadership conference. Standing on a stage before hundreds of teenagers, he shared the lesson he had learned. Life will sometimes put you in situations where you're underestimated or treated unfairly. It's easy to get angry or feel defeated, but the real power lies in staying calm, speaking your truth, and turning the moment into an opportunity for change. You have more strength than you realize, and sometimes that strength can inspire others to be better. The audience erupted into applause, many of them standing as Aaron left the stage. In that moment, he realized that what had once been a source of pain had become a source of inspiration for himself and countless others. Back at home, Aaron kept his feet firmly on the ground. Despite the attention, he remained the same humble, grounded teenager he had always been. He continued to excel in school, fueled by the support of his family and the values they had instilled in him. As for the airline, the changes they implemented became a model for others in the industry. Training sessions emphasized the importance of empathy and fairness, and staff members were empowered to address biases in real time. The airline even invited Aaron to help design these programs, ensuring that his perspective as a passenger shaped the future of their service. Years later, when Aaron reflected on that flight, he didn't think about the humiliation or the stares from other passengers. Instead, he remembered how that moment had shaped him into someone stronger, more confident, and more compassionate. What had started as an uncomfortable flight became a defining chapter in his life, one that reminded him, and the world, that even small acts of courage can spark meaningful change. And so, Aaron's journey didn't just end in justice. It soared into something much greater. A simple flight had transformed into a lesson in resilience, fairness, and the power of standing up for what is right.